Senate President Pro Tem Phil Berger is here. Okay, 5 months I've tracked Senate tax reform. For 5 months, there have been other senators running this bill. In the last couple of days, you took it over. Why are you now fronting this bill and it's quite different than what I remember seeing come out February, March, April?
We've said for a long time that one of the most important things that we need to do is enact comprehensive tax reform in North Carolina. We've got to do something to change the business climate in North Carolina. We're currently ranked 44th in the Tax Foundation's Business Tax Index rating. So we've got to do something substantial. The bills that had previously been introduced, I've worked with Senator Rucho on the bill that was introduced by Senator Rucho and Senator Rabin. That, in my view, was a comprehensive tax reform bill that was substantially the direction that we needed to go in. It was fairly clear that that concept was not going to be something that we were going to be able to pass. So it was important for us to look for a compromise of some sort that held true to the idea of comprehensive tax reform and yet was something that could be passed. And I believe this bill is that.
Would you call this bill comprehensive reform? I remember if you're going to get rid of the income tax, you do on the corporate income tax, but there was a talk of going consumption-based and all the wonks were bending your ear. Is this a heavy modification or is this true reform?
It's true reform because what you do is you, in addition to getting to a zero rate on the corporate, you also modify substantially the tax structure, the deductions, the exemptions, what some folks would call loopholes. You eliminate just about every one of those, and so you simplify the entire tax code, the individual income tax code, and you simplify the corporate tax code ultimately because you get the tax to zero. Nothing could be simpler than that.
Corporate tax rate of 0%. Progressives don't like that proposal. Conservatives, pro-business people love it. What will it do for North Carolina if you have a corporation or business and you pay 0%?
Well, the thing we need to look at is what is the kind of activity we can expect to see in North Carolina as a result of the passage of this bill. And what we know is that corporations and business people make decisions based on what's best for their shareholders or what's best for their customers. And what we know is that the Tax Foundation is telling us that passing this bill moves North Carolina from 44th in the nation in business tax climate to 6th in the nation in business tax climate. And so that's a substantial jump. And what that means is that we will be more attractive to those employers that we want to attract. And if you don't have employers, you will not have employees. And so what we want is something that will help us create jobs, and we believe this bill will help create jobs.
If you're the small mechanic, you're the, TV repair, if there's even such a thing anymore much, what does it mean for those small businesses?
Well, one of the concerns that a number of folks brought to us was the idea that we were going to, under some of the bills that had previously been introduced and the bill that had passed the House, was that we're going to force people to pay tax on something that they're not currently paying taxes on. And so that was really a major obstacle to the reform effort that we had worked on heretofore. And so what we do with this bill is we do not expand the sales tax to those small businesses. And what we do is for those small businesses, we reduce substantially their individual income tax. And North Carolina has at the present time the highest marginal income tax rate in the Southeast, 7.75%. This bill will get the individual income tax rate down to 5.25%. Makes no change whatsoever in terms of the rate of taxation on sales tax, and it really doesn't change those items that are subject to the sales tax, except one thing. It eliminates the sales tax on food at the local level.
I noticed that you're throwing that back on the county governments, though. They can, if I read correctly, tax food at the local level. Why give them that power?
Well, that's a local decision. They can make the decision as to whether or not they think it's appropriate to be taxing food. One of the things we heard loud and clear was that at state level, that's something that the people did not want us to do.
Senior citizens testifying to you, making out that they don't want to pay income taxes on their Social Security benefits. How does that work, or does it work the way they say?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what they've said. What I do know is that we have talked with representatives of the AARP. We've asked them to give us some examples of senior citizens who have questions about what this bill would do. We have looked at the examples they gave us and we've given those results. If there's someone who is receiving Social Security and Social Security is their sole source of income, they will not pay an income tax under this plan. The combination of how you calculate federal adjusted gross income, which is what you start from, and the zero tax bracket that is put in this bill makes it clear that if the sole source of income that someone has is Social Security, they will not pay any income tax at the state level.
With this compromise bill that you are now leading, is there any way to put the caucus, the Republican caucus, back together and make them feel good about this bill? They may accept it and go along as in respect for you as leader, but can you bring everybody together as one happy family on this, or is this just this is the bill that's going to be law?
Well, we'll see as we go forward. I think we'll have a strong vote for this bill on the floor of the Senate. It's my belief that anytime you accomplish something in the legislature, that accomplishment requires a certain level of compromise. And I think in this case, what we've done is we've put together a bill that is a substantial compromise from where we started, from where I started. And it's a bill that's good for North Carolina, and it's going to be good for job creation for the people of North Carolina.
And parting question, at the end of this tax reform debate, if your bill goes as unamended and you reach $1.5 billion in what would be perceived as a tax cut, does that mean the bottom line of this state government will drop from around $21 billion right now back to $19, which would set you as a cut? Or are you slowing down what you think the government will grow by going ahead so that we'll see more modest growth?
The growth will be more modest. You will not see the total of the state budget drop by that much unless a future legislature determines that it wants to cut further. As far as the revenue picture is concerned, what we're looking at is a revenue picture that will continue to grow revenue just at a slower pace than under the current tax structure.
Senator Phil Berger, thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.